Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Moose Opinion Project here on a Monday. April 6th already, I think, because tomorrow it is, if you are in southern Wisconsin here or around and you live in make sure you vote. Yes, April 7th is a very important one. I don't care who you vote for. I really don't. Whatever you want, just get out and vote. Get the numbers to where they need to be. I guess that's the part I struggle with, is we're having the presidents and everything else decided by a lot of people that don't see the need to vote, because many people talk about how, well, it doesn't matter anyway. It's going to be how it is. No, it does matter. It matters a lot. Here's a prime example. I don't care if you are right or left. As you can tell by the name of this one, that it's not always one versus the other. It is morals, integrity. Yeah, I know. And here we go with people saying, well, Chris, you're already going down that road where that's not going to change no matter what. No, it can. And if you are willing to go through the steps, it could. But it's not going to change unless we start holding people accountable. It would be no different than saying, well, my friend's always a jackass, and there's just nothing you can do about it because he's just a jackass. Well, there are things you can do. You can just tell your friend to take a hike because you don't want to be around jackasses. And you don't want to be associated with jackasses. It's kind of like when your kids do things that you don't agree with, and you voice your opinion, and then they don't want to talk to you or they don't want to do anything around those things because, well, you're the problem. No, I have standards that I want my people around me to at least uphold and be part of. I am not going to stick around and be friends with a bunch of jackasses or people that don't have morals, because it's not worth my time or energy. And yes, I know. Everybody says, Chris, you just have to... No, my brain gets tired, and I can't help it, okay? There's a part of it that is just black. If there was a picture of it, you would see there's a part that is black because it's gone. It is dead from lack of blood for over 45 minutes because of a clot. So I get emotionally exhausted hearing about people talk about how shit ain't going to change. Well, it can change. And it starts like on April 7th, where you choose the best candidate in your circle or where your beliefs are. See, that's where I'm having a tough time right now with Derek Van Orden. Supposed to be a veteran, doesn't want to pay veterans and doesn't all of a sudden have, but yet he wants us to give up another, $200 billion for the war in Iran. That has no end in sight, by the way. If you believe it's going to be over in 2 weeks, you have a whole nother problem coming. And this isn't a right or left. This is a moral dilemma. This is a moral issue because our current president has no morals. Let's just get that out in the open. And you can say, well, blah, blah, blah. No. See, Van Orden's blaming the Democrats now for whatever he wants to go about. When Dick Van Orden can say, you know what, my Republican Party sucks at this, but I think we need to go this route with something else. See, that's the problem. Is accountability. We don't want to take accountability for our problems. We don't want to take accountability for the things we screw up on. Did I do everything right in my first marriage? Probably not. Actually, I guarantee it. And do I do everything right now in my second one? No, I'm kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. Do stupid things, but I'm a man. And do I own up to it, though? As much as I can. And that's where I struggle right now is we don't have the people that want to stand up to our current president with the morals and say, dude, this is not right. That is why we have Mr. Hegseth getting rid of top military personnel that are way more way more qualified to do what they're doing and the ways to probably get us out of this. See, so if you're going to struggle with morals and dilemmas and all of that, then we're probably not going to have to be on the same page. It's kind of like my beliefs are you don't end things via a text message or an email. You don't say, hey, you know what? We're not doing business anymore in an email. Call me. Get a hold of me. Say, hey, you know what, Chris? We need to talk about your beliefs here. Or we need to talk about this. Instead of running your mouth around to other people or doing those kind of things, you need to probably message the person and talk to them directly. Ignoring somebody works for a while. But you can also just walk away when you've had the discussion before. If you're pissed off about something I've said on this channel or anything else, feel free to message me and help me correct it. But if you're upset about something that hits close to home, but you don't want to admit that, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. That's your problem. You know, the one thing funny about phones, computers, all that, it's not one-way communication devices. There are both ways. And when you use it all the time, yeah, you can block people. You can delete people. You can unfriend people. That's why I still say Facebook needs, instead of a friends column, you should have family, friends, and acquaintances. I think you should be able to put them in different categories. Because when it shows that you have 400 and some friends, no, I don't. I have like 5 that I would put on a friends list. I have probably 300 that I would put on a acquaintance list. That's probably where I would be. I have 5. I think 5, maybe 6, if I stretch it far, of who I would actually truly put on a friends list. But acquaintances, I have a lot of those. And I have a lot of acquaintances that I would do a lot of things for too. If they called and said, hey, Chris, I need help with that. Yep, sure, no problem. Family, I've got a big family. And some of it's not right. A lot of it's screwed up. But it is what it is. But when you have family that doesn't do anything you agree with, you're okay to just walk away. But if you've been friends with people for a long time, and I mean talking friends, where you go out to dinner, you do things, you probably should at some point at least make an effort to talk. And if you've had made that effort and it didn't go anywhere, then part ways. Feel free. But we can change things if we decide to. We can change multiple things that go on. There's just a lot that can be said about training, education, scenarios, live walkthrough, whatever it may be. If you're managing or owning businesses, you probably should make sure that you have specific goals on how to handle people, how you're tracking how those people are handled. See, I think that's where we struggle right now is with our politicians. Nobody is keeping track. I do know that the right now has no problems blasting people in general, out loud. I just saw Van Orden post something of people that didn't agree with him, and he called them out on it. And then also we just saw the president about, hey, you bastards, open up the strait or else the hell's going to rain down on you. I don't think Iran's been really worried about that. And then to cheer that the U.S. did this magnificent thing of rescuing a fighter pilot. The fighter pilot shouldn't have been there to begin with. And that's my viewpoint. That isn't a right or left. I don't think we're fighting this for And then to hear the one lady compare Trump going through the same sacrifices that Jesus did. Are you frickin' kidding me? Let's quit bringing that into the whole mix. The guy's not a God or Jesus or anybody else. Quit putting him on that level. Not even the same. Not even close to morals. People have that fight in their hand and in their head, and it is just wrong. What did he do Easter Sunday that he's so Christian? If he's such a Christian, what did he do Easter Sunday? Oh, that's right. He drove around looking for the places where he's building his Trump arch or whatever the hell he's building, and then he's doing other things. Did he go to a church service? Did he go anywhere? No, he didn't. If he's such a Christian and so highly above that, where was he? And if you're going to try to talk to me about how great your leader is and how great the side that you're on is, you might want to bring up the facts instead of just why you feel the way you do. So that's where I'm going to end that. Now, on to my last thing that's on my brain, because it's limited on what I want to deal with. But E.J. Tackett finished 5th Sunday. Yep. Lost 279 to 248. And the first couple posts on there are, well, I can see the number one player in the world is having problem winning tournaments. When you've made 4 shows this year, and his worst performance was 17th, and you look at how many professional bowlers, we're talking professional bowlers, there were 300. He finished 17th. This weekend, finished 5th. He's been on 4 shows. Yeah, he hasn't won one. Had a 279 shot against him one week, had a 300 shot against him the next week. Yeah, he missed 2 opens, but got screwed by a 10-pin like most of us ever do during a week, and we're pissed off. You have to remember that he's going against the top 5 of the tournament, and there's not a lot of margin of error. Still the number one player. Look at the points, look at the money. That's all I can tell you there. And I will also reiterate that great people bring out the best. So really good people bring out the best of people all the time. You see it in leagues, you see it in tournaments locally. When you're bowling against the best or what you feel is the best, your game always steps up a notch. Because you know your margin of error is very slim. So, that's my take on there. I'm not sure I like the CW format. I'm glad I get to watch it at least, where I don't have to stream it or pay the obscene bowl TV fees. I don't like the fact that these people are having to buy this kind of stuff. I miss the Saturdays of back when we were young bowling in youth league, and you couldn't wait for CBS Sports to come on with the bowling tour. I think it needs to be more of that to get others invested in the sport, but that's just my feeling. So, EJ's still the number one right now in the world, and yes, USA lost to the Worlds on Saturday. Kind of heartbreaking there. But I see a lot of young people coming up. The Ethan Fours, Ryan Barnes. And, you know, it's amazing how many people don't like Ryan Barnes already. He's got Hall of Fame parents. But I think the big thing that pisses most people off is he's a two-handed bowler. And I could care less. I bowl against two-handed bowlers. I bowl against no-thumb bowlers. It is what it is. And the urethane debate is going to stay where it is, and then scuffing plastic balls. I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous. I will say that if your team signs up for a league and your team is supposed to have it all year, you should probably make sure all 4 people, and if you sign up personally to bowl in a league, either find a sub for your day or don't show up. Don't sign up for a league. It's kind of irritating to not have people show up, and then especially the late run. Where Thursday night is the points round or a position round for us. I'm looking forward to who we bowl against. Midnight Repair. I'm looking forward to that. They're a great team. They just came on board this year, or last year they were kind of the fill-in, but now they're full-time. But I think that also has a reason why we're not seeing for league bowling. We're seeing people act like little children. We're seeing a bunch of children show up at the bowling alley running around and acting like a daycare. I don't remember being allowed to do that as a kid. My parents didn't allow me to come down to the bowling alley on league night. I wasn't allowed to. I struggle with that. And it might be because I'm an old person from way back. I don't know. I don't feel that this is a place for all the kids to show up and everywhere else when there's obviously obscenities thrown around a lot and you're like, well, my kids hear it all the time. Well, that's not my problem. But I feel that it's just one of those things. That's how I feel. I don't agree with it. They're not aged to where you're making them bowl or looking at bowling. And shit ends up down on the lanes and people running around, and I just struggle. So let's leave it at that. And I'll take heat for that, I'm sure. But I'm not the only one that feels that way. I'm one of the few that'll say it out loud. But I don't feel that it's right. But then we have people not showing up. That's the part that pisses me off the most. If you sign up, get a sub. Make sure your team is full. So you bowl, so you're not just... To me, when you're bowling against an absent bowler, it's pretty simple. I mean, yeah, you lose a few points here and there, but it's not where it's competitive in that way. So, I struggle there. That's many things I struggle with. What else is your thoughts, though, on the Pro Bowling Tour? I think when you got 300 bowlers and they're throwing 250 for 36 games, that's impressive. And they're alternating lanes, so it's not all the same. But that's where I'm at. So Thursday night, big points, big roll off. We're in tight run for first, second, and third are pretty close. So it should be a good evening. It should be fun. We'll see who takes the win that night. Other than that, I'm getting ready for golf. I'm getting ready for that kind of season. And hoping that life keeps moving forward and keeps moving in a positive direction. So have a great day. Enjoy the sunshine. I think it's going to be sunny here in southwest Wisconsin for a little bit. But then they're talking about 25-mile-an-hour winds again. I'm tired of the winds. But we'll go from there. Have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. And as always, take time to bless somebody today.